All righty now, big boy, class is in session over here. What I want to do first, man, is I want to talk to you guys. Everybody talks about credit. How do you get it? How do you establish it? How do you repair your credit? Is credit worth having? People always felt like cash is king. We live in a world now where cash is not king. You can literally try to rent a $100,000 car, and if you have $250 on your credit card, they give you that car. But if you walk in with $100,000 cash, they won't give you the car. So we're in a position where credit is king. So what I want to do right now, man, is I want to really have a real credit talk about how do we establish good credit. If our credit isn't established well, how do we get these negative marks off of our credit? I'm pretty sure that everybody that's sitting in here, we know someone, either it's us or someone that has bad credit or credit that they need to work on. So Credit 101 is up in here, man. We got Kyle, we got Rob up in here. Robert, welcome to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Tell you the truth, I really don't know why you're sitting in here. You just want to be on camera.
Yeah.
You know.
I want to get my 15 minutes.
Yeah. Hey, man. But Robert from Credit 101. All righty. First off, how important is it to have good credit?
I mean, for me, credit has completely leveled the playing field.
Mhm.
If you're like me, I come from nothing. I come very humble beginnings, and credit just allowed me to establish businesses, pull out lines of credit. My family was never able to give me money
Yeah.
to venture in and do the things that I wanted to do. Right. So if you're like me, you don't have like an aunt and uncle, someone with money that's going to go ahead and just, hey, here's $100,000, start a business. If you got good credit, you can start dabbling in the things that you want to do. You could travel, houses,
Yeah,
cars,
man.
literally anything you can think of requires good credit. Just back to your point, you want to rent a car. You know what I'm saying? You don't got a credit card, they're not taking a debit
Right.
card. If
Right.
they do take a debit card, they want a very high deposit. You know what I'm saying? So it just comes back. Everything reverts back to credit, and credit completely changed my life. And that's why I'm here on this show. I want to give people the opportunity to change their life, especially for the new year. We're going
Right.
to go ahead. We're going to give them a good deal. If they listen to Big Boy, we're going to make sure we take care of them.
Hey, man, I had a buddy of mine years ago, Kyle, and he literally purposely walked away from his credit. And I was telling him, I was like, bro, that's something you shouldn't do. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, hold on to your name. How do you address people that say having credit isn't necessary?
Well, listen, man, it's easy to say it's not necessary because I really don't think there's a lot of education out there on the credit system.
Mhm.
So you can get lost in, one, how do you establish good credit, right? You start
Right.
out with nothing.
Right. Yeah.
You
How
know what I
do you
mean? It's like,
establish that?
it's all comes down to your history and it's building relationships. Just same way you build a friendship, you build that relationship with certain lenders, with certain banks, right? And then over time, you know what I'm saying, if they start to trust you and you're establishing good history, you can ask for credit increases with the people that you've already started establishing relationships with. And then what happens is other lenders that are usually harder to get approved for, they start trusting you based off of the history that you've established with somebody else.
Mhm.
They can pull your credit file. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They go ahead, hey, listen, you've been with this bank for 2 years. You've never had a late payment. They took a chance on you. And now you were able to build higher credit limits. I'm going to go ahead and take a chance on you as well.
What's the best way to start, though? Is it a department store? Is it a major credit card? Is it
To
secured?
me, it's anything you want to diversify,
Mhm.
right? Because lenders tend to look for similar accounts. So what I mean by that is if you're going to buy a house, right, a mortgage lender is going to look for it. Do you pay your rent on time, right?
Mm.
You can report your rental history. It's free, right? Most of these places you go, you sign up, you can go to rentreporters.com. Just a little gem I'll drop for you guys. And you can, communicate with your landlord and start reporting your rental history up to 2 years back.
Mm.
So then if you want to go ahead and buy a house, they can pull that history and say, hey, listen, this guy's always on time with his rent payments. That's going to lead me to believe that if I give him a loan, he's going to be on time with his mortgage payments as well. So they look for similar accounts. So that's why you want to diversify. If you want a car, they're going to look for other auto loans. And
Right.
it's a stepping stone, crawl, walk, run,
Yeah.
right? You're
Yeah.
not going to get a $100,000 auto loan your first, go out. But if you go ahead, instead of going and buying a car cash for $10,000, you go put $1,000 down, make payments, you know what I'm saying, on that car.
Even if you have it.
Yeah, even if you have it, get a $10,000 auto loan instead of buying a car cash just to start building that history. You know what I'm saying? It's going to pay off in the long run.
You see people now, bro, and we're talking about kind of establishing. What about for those that feel like, man, I'm already in the red? And before you answer that, what is considered a good credit score?
I tend to look at credit history over credit score
Okay.
because you can have very low credit lines and still have a good credit score.
Gotcha.
Right? You can have 750 credit score, but maybe you only have a couple $200-$300 credit cards, right?
Mhm.
These lenders are same thing. They're looking for history. They're looking for that you have higher credit limits
Oh,
more than they're
okay.
just looking at your score. A score is just a generalized idea. You know what I
So
mean?
is a $300 limit that's looked at differently from a
Uh,
$7,000 limit?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because no one, again, that's why it's so important to start building and increasing those credit limits. Because I'm not going to give you $100,000 loan if you've only been trusted with $300 before,
Right.
right? So they want to see the history more so than the score. The score is just to give you like a little quick reference, right? But these underwriters, they're looking more in depth. They're looking for the history. They're looking for, hey, does this guy pay his credit cards on time? Is he using the limits that I've given to him? Are they high limits, right? Can I trust this guy with a big loan, right? So something
Mm.
similar. If you want a big loan, you have to start with a small credit line and continue to increase it over time after you show that
Mm.
you've been responsible with that small amount.
Now, I got Kyle from Credit 101 up in here. Um, when people go and they say, you know what, is it better to pay off to zero, or is it better to hold on and have a history of I owe 5,000 as opposed to paying it all the way down?
It's definitely better to pay it down.
Really?
Yes.
Pay it off?
Utilization is 33% of your score, right? So it depends what type of credit line you have, but for credit cards, utilization is going to make up 1/3 of your score. So
Mm.
if you're maintaining high balances, right, then your score is going to be botched no matter what,
Oh.
and they think you're depending on that card, right? It's not something that you have readily available. So like what I recommend to people is if you have a debit card, you're paying rent, your electric, whatever it is, switch those funds over to a credit card, right? Pay those bills with the credit card only on money that you already have readily available that you were going to use, and then
Mm-hmm.
pay that card in full every month. But very important is make sure you understand the payment date that it
Yeah,
reports to
we
the
were
credit
talking
bureau.
about
We
that.
were talking
That's what
about
we
this
were
earlier.
talking about, Big.
Yeah.
That I mean, that
Because
actually
Robert, you were
happened with
saying
me.
that you personally, you were looking at your credit because they repaired yours as well
Yeah,
with
for
some help
sure.
that you needed. But you kind of asked like, "Hey, what's going on? I'm still
Yeah,
in this same area."
yeah. Because I went and got. We were talking about this earlier, but I went and got a car, and something came up on my credit, and I was like, what is this? And so these guys obviously helped me out and stuff. Everything was off. Everything was good. And then I was texting them, about 3 months later, and I was like, why isn't my credit, why am I still at this? And it was credit utilization. It was because I was paying them off every month, my credit cards every month, but I was paying it after the credit card companies
Yeah.
recorded. So when I started paying them off before they recorded, my score shot up, and it was just that easy
And Kyle,
tweak.
explain that how you were explaining it to me, how you got to find out what your due dates are.
Absolutely.
Because if you're on the 5th and I pay it on the 7th, it looked like I was carrying that.
Absolutely. So that's why the education is so important. And that's what we'd like to do. We like to educate our clients because you can fix someone's credit, but if they don't know these little small tips,
Right.
their score's still going to be low, even if they don't have any late payments, even if they don't have collections. And what you do is the trick to this is find out whatever credit card company you have when they report to the credit bureau, what day of the month they report, and make sure that you're making your payments before that report date, right? That way it goes ahead and it tracks your lower balance because you just made a payment and it's reporting that you have low utilization. After that report date comes, you can go ahead and max that credit card out again. As long as before that report date comes for the next month, you pay it
Mhm.
off in full.
And we find our date out by just calling
You
our
just
credit card.
contact whatever credit lender you're using,
See,
right?
they
So
never tell you that.
they don't tell you that. They don't tell you that. And oftentimes this is the trick.
You had to fly in from Miami for me to know this shit.
You know, hey man.
Well, Florida. But
I came in for the what are those, the Twizzlers?
oh yeah,
That's
the
what I
red
really
vine. He
came
didn't know
in
what
for.
red
I
vines
came
were.
in with the red vines.
He didn't know what red vines were, and he was like, "Well, red vines don't have better credit than Twizzler." You know? So it's just that simple. We can just call up.
Absolutely. You
And ask.
contact them to say, hey, listen, man, I just want to know when you guys are going to report to the three main credit bureaus, right? And then once they give you that date,
And what are the
jot it
3
down.
main credit bureaus? I know there's TransUnion.
You got TransUnion,
Equal-
Experian, and Equifax.
There it is. There it is.
And you know what, Big, what was different on mine too is I had this one thing on there, but when he's talking about reporting, it wasn't my due date. So they reported, I believe, before my payment due date was. So all my credit was fine. I was paying it off fine, but they were reporting before my actual due date was paid. So
do you find that out too?
well,
So
you know,
listen, you know when your bills due, right? If your bills due on the 10th, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not reporting after the 10th. They could be reporting on the 7th,
Right.
and you're never late on your bills, but you're still going to carry that high utilization because your bills due 3 days after the reporting. into
How
the
did you
credit
get
bureau.
into this, Kyle?
Man, it actually crazy story. It actually fell into my lap, man. I own a motorcycle dealership, and
Mm.
I actually had a Lamborghini that I sold to a buddy of mine. And he actually was doing the credit repair with another guy. He had 300 clients on board, and the guy didn't know what he was doing, and he was ready to refund these people. So me just being business minded, I said, listen, if I can figure out how to repair the credit, we'll split these 300 clients that you got.
Hell
We'll
yeah.
split the funds. And I just went and hit the research, hit the books, and just started, trying it on myself, trying it on people that I knew,
Right.
just being a hustler, trying to do whatever I could do. Because he had $300,000 in his pocket. He's ready to refund. I know if I figure this out, I'm gonna get 150,000 my
Yeah.
way, right?
Hell
We
yeah.
charge $1,000 a client,
Mhm.
right? So I just went ahead, man. I figured it out. It worked. I came back to him. We started repairing all these people's credit, and then, hey, man, a partnership was formed.
And
And
how long have you been doing the actual credit
we've
repair
been
as
doing
well?
this for just under 10 years
10
now.
years. I want to get into that too, man. When people say, and you see it everywhere, you see people say, "Oh, we can repair your credit," and sometimes it's a crazy deal that's going on out there where people don't believe it. Is there? And I'm pretty sure because Robert, you're living and you got a testimony, and I've
Yeah,
seen
for
you and I
sure.
know you as well. But when people say I can repair your credit, I can. What does that consist of? How believable is that?
It depends on the company, man. Our method is completely unique.
Mhm.
I haven't met another credit repair agency out there that's doing what we're doing the way that we're doing things. What we tend to do is we like to hide our customers' data because nowadays you leave a digital blueprint, right? It's basically a digital fingerprint
Mhm.
that ties you back to, was this you that opened this account, right? So what we do is we do a very good job of removing that information and making it hard for the debt collector to tie you to the debt before we ever go ahead and send out our dispute letters, right?
Mm.
So when we do send it out, now they're scrambling, trying to gather whatever information they can to say, hey, this is an accurate, information that we're reporting to the three main credit bureaus, but they come up short, right? Because again, we educate the clients on what they need to do to stay below the radar,
Right.
right?
And as a client, we have homework that we have to do as well. We don't just
100%.
lay everything on you guys, and then a month, 2, 3 down the line, start blaming
Yeah,
something on you.
100%. It's a two-way street here. And the easiest way that I could explain that to you is say I go ahead and I'm challenging, a collection on your account, and the
Mm.
debt collector goes ahead and calls you. And I tell you, listen, it's very important that you stay off the phone. You don't answer these debt collectors. You decide you're going to answer the phone, right? You give them the information. Hey, do you have the account number ready? When was your last payment date? Right? They're recording this phone call, right? So
Mhm.
now I'm saying that this guy, you
Does
know,
right.
might not know this account belongs to him. Can you go ahead and give me information that's going to solidify that he actually opened this account? And now they got this recorded for you.
Right.
They go ahead and shoot in. So all my hard work has been undone. So it's very important that you follow every single step. We're going to guide you in the right direction, but it is a two-way street here.
Is there an average credit score where that you deal with? Like what's bad
I mean, I've
when
seen
so
horrible. So they say 1 in 3 Americans have bad credit, right?
Mhm.
And to
Uh-oh.
tell you, on
It's
the
about
pay,
8 of us in here.
Hello.
Yeah, it's about 8 of us in here.
you wouldn't believe, man. You look at some of these celebrities, you look at some of
Right.
these
Oh, I
guys, and you
know.
think, they got a lot of cash flowing through, so they don't
Yeah.
think credit's important, right? They're like, man, I could buy whatever I want. I don't need a credit
Yeah.
card, right? So a lot of them, maybe they ruined their credit before, they started getting money, and they just never went back and tried to fix things.
Mhm.
And that was what I put a football player in it. Like after they took the thing off mine. I had a guy that went to Clemson. Now he's in the NFL, but he had messed up his credit in college. He didn't know the value of credit. And I
Yeah,
think one of
man.
the things too is they don't really teach the value of credit and actual financial things you can use with credit in college. I have a
Right.
finance degree, big,
Mhm.
and I didn't know any of that stuff. So now that he's in the pros, I mean, he was at a 501. Yeah, he's making money, but it was on
Right.
his mind daily. On his mind daily. He went to go apply for a car. I mean, the interest rates
Yeah,
out
man.
and they're like, yeah, you're an NFL guy. Drop 100K on this, right?
I'll tell
Right.
And
you what's crazy, really, not to cut you off,
yeah,
but now that you're mentioning interest rates, this is the biggest thing. Is the difference between just even 3 and 4% on your interest rate. 1%, right? That's how they get you. They make it sound small. Oh, it's just 1%. 1% interest on a mortgage, like a 30-year mortgage. I mean, that can equate to hundreds of thousands of dollars that you're saving, just by fixing your credit. So it's totally worth the investment, especially if you're taking out loans on cars, homes, whatever it may
Right.
be. You don't realize, oh, 1%, no big deal. Let me sign the paperwork. You know what I'm saying? But you may be paying double for your car. Double
Mhm.
what it's worth, the sticker on there. Oh, you think you're hustling, dude. Oh, I'm going to take it down to 20,000. It's $25,000 car. Now, with your high interest, you might be paying 45,000 for the car when it's all said and done. But you don't notice that. They work into
Right.
the payments. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? They're very smooth. They'd rather you come in with a bad credit score. They make more money off you, right? That's the trick. The guy with the good credit score, he can go anywhere in the world. Anyone's going
Mhm.
to give him a loan,
Right.
right? So they work with these banks. They work, and they try to say, "Oh man, we want the guys with good credit." That's
Yeah.
that's a lie.
Right.
They want the guy with the bad credit because they take advantage of
Yeah. Then they come in, oh, we got you approved. And then
it. Yeah,
you're thankful.
yeah. You're
You're
thankful. Oh,
You're
thank
excited.
thankful
God.
at any rate.
Yeah, they act like they did you a favor.
Right.
You know what I mean? They didn't do you no favor. You got more money down, higher interest rate.
So when does someone come to Credit 101? Like and I'm without knowing the background, I'm a score guy because I don't know the whole thing. What's that score?
Listen, we can help anybody in any score range. Score
Mhm.
doesn't matter. It doesn't take nothing. Call us. We'll review your credit file. We'll let you know what we can do to help you. I've seen everything. I've seen literally everything. I've seen bankruptcies,
Yeah.
collections, and we've gotten bankruptcies removed. You know what I'm saying? I've gotten everything from child support payments off. So like we've seen it all. And don't be scared. That's like a touchy subject. Oh man, I got a bad credit score. Again, 1 in 3 Americans has a bad credit score. You're not alone in this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? My team will do whatever we have to do to make you feel comfortable with the process, let you know exactly what we can do to help you, and give you realistic expectations. But the time to start is now.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I mean?
Especially, man, we're coming into, we're here at the new year, new you kind of thing, and I think that a lot of people, we seeing it now where if you noticed in the last year and a half, 2 years with the pandemic and the quarantine, everything now, you go place they're cashless. You go other places, you don't get food delivery to your house and say, hey, well, when they get here, I'll just pay them in cash. Like everyday life depends on you having some kind of card or some kind of face ID or something that links to a credit or some kind of account. So it's not going to get any easier for us. Like when I was in college, when I first started, they had all the agencies out there on campus. So I'm getting credit cards. I
That
got
free T-shirt.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Got water bottles and shit.
Get a
But
blanket.
I'll start going getting credit from everywhere. Not just from the school, but also going in and grabbing credit cards from department stores and stuff. I had a credit card from an automotive place, and I didn't even have a car. I was just going to go get it. So a lot of people start losing themselves when they're younger. Then you get to a certain age where you feel like there's no need to repair your credit. And you will look up and it takes no time and not too much effort to clear it up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But we find out late, so you're also in the business of helping us get some of that life back.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you can definitely get a second chance when it comes to
Yeah.
credit. And especially want to help people out just because of the pandemic as well, just like you
Yeah.
reverted back to. That 1 in 3 statistic I gave you, that was prior to the pandemic. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure,
Oh my gosh,
I'm
man.
sure it's a lot worse. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? With all these shutdowns, people out of work, people are behind on their credit card bills, right? There's definitely a second chance for you out there. We can challenge this stuff. We can make sure that they have enough information to validate the debt, and we can try to get a lot of this stuff knocked off, or we can negotiate and reduce, what you would typically have to pay to remove these, collection accounts from your profile. And then we'll go ahead and give you some information on how to rebuild,
Mm-hmm.
right, how to start establishing good credit once we've removed the negative items from the account.
What's typical? Like, is there a dollar amount that's typical, or is it more automotive that's typical? What do you see typically that you have to repair for someone?
Man, everyone's credit is completely different,
Mm.
right? Everyone, yours, mine, the next guy. No two credit, profiles are alike, right? So, I mean, some people, they have automotive loans that
Right.
are repossessed. Maybe they crashed.
Can
the
you do
car with no
repossessions
insurance.
as well?
Absolutely,
Jesus
absolutely. There's
Christ.
nothing that we haven't gotten removed. And again, it is a case by case scenario.
Right.
I want to make that clear, but we're going to go ahead and give you the realistic answer. We're going to let you know what we can and cannot do for you. But regardless, we will be able to remove a lot of these negative items from your
Right.
profile, save you a ton of money, give you that second chance.
And is that on all reporting agencies? Because
Yeah, all
sometimes you'll
reporting
see
agencies.
people that say, I went to someone and they cleared me up on just one, but then they pulled up, something from Experian and everything was still there.
This is something I want to tell you too. There's a lot of, misinformation going out
Yeah.
there. right? And the reason that that may be is a lot of these credit repair companies, they don't know how the system actually works.
Mm.
And I've done a lot of research. No one taught me this stuff. I'm self-taught. I was in the trenches myself, trial and error, trial and error. And throughout this, I learned a lot of things that were unique to the credit repair system. And again, that's why I said no one does it like we do it. Um, a lot of people are using like Experian to monitor their credit.
Right.
And what they don't realize is when you use Experian, you're signing their service agreement. In that service agreement, and I challenge you to look this up. It's section 23. I know exactly what it is.
Let me
You
write
go-
this down.
Go to terms of service in Experian.com. You look at their terms of service, you go to section 23. You sign an arbitration agreement. And
Oh.
what that does is it gives up your right to take them to litigation.
Wow.
Right? And you don't even know you're signing this. You're blindly going into this.
Google
you're
that,
just checking
Jose.
your credit
Somebody
score.
Google that.
You could look it up.
Somebody Google it. Well, somebody else,
So-
not Jose, because he don't know how to spell
So
it.
Google Experian terms of service. And then if you go to section 23, there's an arbitration agreement in there. And basically what it says, and it says real plain, read carefully, this affects your rights. And in that arbitration agreement, it's telling you that you're basically giving up your rights to take them to litigation and that any disputes that you have must be settled directly with Experian. So now when you go ahead and you send these dispute letters out, Experian says, oh, this guy signed an arbitration agreement. This threat to take me to litigation is null and void. I have a contract right here that he just basically agreed
Yeah.
that he can't do this.
Because the main thing we do, we scroll down to accept.
Except
Yeah.
you just sign
Yeah.
that
As
thing
quick as
blindly.
possible.
And you don't know that. And a lot of the craziest thing is a lot of these credit repair companies, they don't know this information. So again, right, you see some, maybe they'll get it off TransUnion.
Yeah. What's the difference between Joe Blow on the street and Credit 101?
We have that information that's going to make sure that we're as successful as possible. Just like I told you with that arbitration agreement saying, hey, listen, you can't use Experian to monitor your credit. You can't use this guy. You can't use Credit Karma, right?
Right.
They're sharing your data. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to use Experian Boost, give them access to your bank account.
Because see, I do Credit Karma where I just kind of tap in, I check, I get the updates,
It's free and it's easy,
Right.
But nothing's free in this world, right? So you might go ahead, oh man, I've got Credit Karma. It's a free app. It's simple. It's convenient. For you, we went over your credit. You have good credit, right? You don't have anything negative on it. So it might not be affecting you like it would someone that has
Right.
collection accounts, right?
And
They
they
don't have-
turn you in damn near like,
Yeah, they're going to sell you back. Listen, they're making the money. You see them credit card offers? That they put on the
Yeah.
street? They're getting a percentage if you get approved. So that's why they're giving you those offers. They're making money. They're in the business of making money, just like anybody else in this world. So they're doing whatever they can with your information. They're sharing it with some of these debt collection agencies, saying, "Hey, listen, this guy's tapped in this IP address, same IP address that he used to apply for your credit card."
ooh.
Right there, I just made a connection. You get what I'm saying? And now you're tied to that account, and it's solidified it, right? So if another credit repair agency is not telling you this information, you're going into it blindly. You're pulling up your Experian app. You're opting in arbitration. You're using Credit Karma to monitor your credit. They send in disputes. These companies now go, man, this is null and void. I'm not taking this serious.
Like years ago, I know I had some surgery. And like how we say sometimes things get away from you. You don't know what the reporting agencies are. So it was minimal, like $300, $400 or something like that. And I got a ding on my credit for something that I could have paid. Do you see like a lot of medical or things that we don't see that's on our credit, but we don't pay attention to?
Medical bills is extremely common. There's a
Mhm.
lot of people with medical bills. One, a lot of people don't have insurance right
Right.
around here. So a
Yeah.
lot of that stuff's reported. Maybe they can't afford to make the payments. They took a trip to the ER. They got that ride in the ambulance. That, hey, man, for
Yeah.
a 10-minute ride, it just
1,500
whacked you over the
bucks.
head. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So we've gotten a lot of that stuff off. We have a ton of success removing medical bills. So again, don't shy away just because you feel like, hey, this ain't for me. I got, one certain type of collection, and that's not what they're referring to.
Right.
And we've seen it all. Absolutely all of it.
How do you run your credit? Like, how some people say, oh, we can run your credit, but you get these, is it inquiries?
Yeah, so it's different. If you check your own credit,
Right.
there's no inquiry.
And how do you check your own credit?
I recommend that you use Identity IQ.
Identity IQ.
Identity IQ, right? It's not related to any of the three main credit bureaus, right? They're not going to report and they're not going to tell and give any of your sensitive information away. They're not going to have you sign that arbitration agreement. It is a paid service,
Mhm.
but it's worth it,
Right.
right? It's
Right.
going to save you a ton of headache. It's very cheap, very minimal, right? Something I think it's like $27 a month, something very, very light. And it's going to go ahead, it's going to give you an accurate score, and it's going to allow you to continue to monitor your credit.
And what is it called again?
Identity IQ.
Identity IQ.
Correct. And when you talk to my team, they'll go ahead and send you a link. For
Right,
Identity
right. And we'll
IQ.
put it up as well.
Yeah.
And then also with inquiries, you go to a spot and you say, okay, I'm going to go get a car and they're going to run my credit. That
This
could be horrible.
Yeah, it can be detrimental, especially if you have good credit, right? A lot of people they have good maybe you have 800 credit score. You got a ton of inquiries, right? And you can't get approved for new lines of credit because what happens is if they see you have good credit, the next thing that they look at is your inquiries. All right, is this guy applying for a lot of lines of
Right.
credit? And what happens is when they see that you're applying for a ton of banks, they start to assume, well, this guy's desperate. This guy needs money. Why is he applying for so many places? You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's trying to stack credit cards and hide that he just got approved for another one, right? So they automatically go ahead and assume, like, hey, this guy, he's got an 800 credit score. He just applied to 10 lenders, right? He's probably got approved from them 10 lenders based off his credit score. I'm not going to approve him, right? Because now he's trying to do something shady. So what happens is you might get denied even though you've worked so hard to build your credit. And maybe an auto lender or somebody went
Yeah.
ahead and shopped your credit file around, right? Maybe they had 10 banks pull your credit. You got
So
10
I
inquiries.
can walk into one place
Absolutely.
and they can shop my credit around.
And it's shocking.
And I'll have from one, I could have up to 10.
Sometimes more than 10, right? They're shopping you around as many lenders as they can, right? They're doing their job trying to find you the best deal, right? What
Right.
bank's going to work with them, where you're going to get the lowest interest rate, right? So it's nothing that they're doing wrong, right? But the thing is that, hey, now you're left with all these inquiries for the lenders that
And that looks bad.
absolutely, again, because they're going to go ahead and assume, right, that, hey, this guy's pulling his credit from so many lenders. Why? What's going on?
How
What's he
do I
trying to
get
do?
around that? Like if I'm
We
going to go
can-
buy a car
We can remove inquiries
Mhm.
for you.
before I get with you to remove them. How do I get around it? Do I go to the bank and do I pull my own credit? And
If you have good credit, you can get pre-approved from a loan
Mhm.
from your bank that you bank with, right? So that'll save you a lot of headache of having these auto lenders shop your credit
Right.
around, or even these mortgage lenders.
But I've even seen where you walk in with and they say, "No, we gotta run it ourselves."
They're trying to get a little bit of extra money in their pocket,
Right.
right? They have relationships with these banks. Obviously, they're getting some type of kickback.
Dang.
But I mean, you can go ahead and, obviously, most people are impatient. They're going to capitalize on that, right? You
Right.
can find an auto lender out there that's going to want to sell you the car, right? That's not going to go, hey, turn you away. You know what I'm saying? But,
And
at
an
the end of the
inquiry
day,
stays on your credit for how long?
2 years.
Dude, I was fucking surprised by that.
Yep.
And you could just keep stacking them up.
Keep stacking them up.
2 years?
Keep stacking them up. Yep.
How long does so-called bad credit stay on your profile?
Depends on the credit line, like
Right.
where you got. Typically, it's 7 years.
Yeah.
s-
And within that 7 years, can they refile against you and it'll stay on longer?
So what they'll do is they'll sell the debt
Just
to somebody else, and then now it's considered a fresh start.
right.
Oh, hey, man, it's been on here for 4 years. This guy's not going to pay. Maybe this guy owes me $10,000. Let me sell it to someone for 1,000, and they could try to collect,
Right.
the money. So now that debt collector might buy it for pennies on the dollar, right? They're going to buy it for a tenth,
Oh my God.
and they're going to try to get you for 1,500, 2,000. You know what I mean? Now they just doubled up. So now once that debt collector reports that they've inherited this debt, it's like a fresh start. It's a new file on your thing.
And you remove collections as well? Because
100%.
growing up, we were the collection kings, boy.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were, everything was in collection.
The collections, man, those are typically when it's sold, it's easier to remove.
Really?
It is, and it's a good thing. It can be discouraging, but typically they don't have all of the information, right? They
Right.
just buy the debt. Usually they're not getting all the files, you know what I mean, from the original, loan holder, right? They're not saying, hey, give me the signed contracts, give me all this stuff. So when you go ahead and you say, challenging it, saying, I need to see the original contract, now they're going ahead scrambling, trying to go back to the person. The person's going, man, I already washed my hands of this.
Right.
I sold it to you for 1/10 of what it's worth. I don't have time for this. You know what I'm saying? I washed my hands. I walked away from this debt. It's your problem now.
What about with you being at Credit 101 and seeing a lot of this? When we walk into a place and we just say, I want to fill out a credit application, we don't know a lot. Like with you being in a position, would you walk out anywhere today and fill out a credit application?
No, definitely not. I mean, I bank with whatever my banking relationship with my personal bank is solidified. They know who I am. I come in, I have a personal banker, but this wasn't always the case.
Right.
Right. I had to, build these relationships. I had to build up my credit history. Now I know I can just call my local Chase. That's who I bank with. I go, hey Chase, I need to call my private banker. I need an auto loan. I need a mortgage loan.
Right.
They're
But
gonna
you had
go
to
ahead.
get there.
I had to get there.
Right.
Again,
right.
crawl, walk,
Yeah,
run.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely you repair credit. You're not
Yeah, I mean,
you're
I
not a
had
miracle
bad credit
worker.
myself.
Yeah. How do we get in touch with you?
So you can call my team. You go to credit101.com /big boy. I want
Mhm.
to leave that on there, man. You guys are going to get a special offer if you're coming from the Big Boy Radio Show. Typically, we charge $2,500. We've reduced the service to $997 for you listeners for the new year and for the pandemic. We really want to help you guys out. My 1-800 number is on that website. You can call.
And we got it up on the screen as well.
Yeah, 100%. You get in touch with any one of my agents. They're all experts in the space. They'll review your credit, excuse me. The consultation is completely free. We don't charge you to go ahead,
Right.
tell you what you can do. We'll give you a little bit of education. You decide to pull the trigger, cool. Not, you know what I mean? At least you got a little bit of education. You know what you need to do, right? Maybe it's not the time for you, but
Mhm.
you know, the consultation doesn't hurt. It's completely free. Let my team go ahead and give you the information that you guys need to start rebuilding, start repairing your credit today.
You know, Big Boy too. I also made Kyle. I made him do this. If they go through /Big Boy, they get pushed up to the front of the line because these guys get hundreds of people every day.
Mhm.
So if they, you know, they do the Big Boy, they call in and say, you know, I'm from Big Boy, front of the line. So they're not going to wait, you know, a
All right,
day or two for access.
because I got somebody I'm gonna call.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have them call, and I'm gonna say they put you to the front of the line, but
Yeah.
his credit's so bad that you probably be like, big.
Test it. I mean, we've seen.
What's
it
the
all.
lowest you've seen? Do you remember? And I'm back to the number.
I've seen 300s,
And so
we've helped.
So at a 300, right? You've seen 300s. How bad is that? Like what do you have to do?
You gotta have some. pretty
Because
bad credit to
usually,
get
like, you
300.
know how people say, oh man, you get such and such for just writing your name. You know what I'm saying? So when you have a 300, that's pretty much what they. Can you go any lower than that?
Like what's on a 300 credit score? I mean, you don't have to say the person's name, but like basically what's on, what did they do to get to 300? Because you have to really try to get it. Be like,
you got to be a
"Oh," be
professional.
like, hold up.
You
I'm at
professional
400.
bad
Let me give
credit
you
at
300.
Typically, man, if you're gotten into 300s, at one point in time you had good credit,
Mhm.
so you were able to establish a ton of lines of credit, and maybe they went through some hardship. You know, maybe they filed for bankruptcy. Maybe they let all of these things go into collections. But to get to a 300, this isn't one credit card that you opened and stopped making late payments, right? You've had, you know, some large credit history on your profile, and maybe you just let it all go.
Yeah.
Lost your job, whatever it is, right? We've seen it and we've been able to repair it. So don't be like, oh man, my credit's 300. This ain't for me. It's definitely for you. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, I like I told you, I got one guy that I want to push to the front of the line too, and I don't want to say his name because I don't want to blow him up, but his name is Strong. Y'all,
His credit
we get
score ain't strong.
Yeah. He's strong, but the credit score is weak. You know, but I definitely thank you, man, for coming in and hanging out with us and giving us a class in session, bro. And how do we get in touch with you one more time? We put it on the screen as well.
So you can follow me on Instagram. I'm international_Kyle. Right. You can look at my website, credit101.com, again, /Big Boy. If you do call in, just mention you came from the Big Boy Radio Show. Again, we are going to bump his listeners to the front of the line. We want to make sure we take care of all of you. I really appreciate Big Boy for having me on this radio station.
No, my pleasure, brother.
So.
My pleasure, because I just know what credit is now. You know what I'm saying? And I had to really, my tuition into the School of Experience was a mother. You know, because I got credit cards early, you know, underwater. And also, man, I didn't know about principal and interest. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, okay, well, let me send in, you know, the minimum. And I'm constantly chasing, you know. So can you explain about the principal and interest?
This is the craziest thing, too, is you said paying the minimum. They're hoping you pay the minimum because that's when they're making money on the interest, right? If you pay your card in full every month, you're avoiding those interest payments, right? So,
but what if somebody can't pay it in and they have like, you got to send in $50?
This is where
what do you suggest they send in?
Right? Again, don't act like the money's your money. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You got a $10,000 credit card. That ain't $10,000 you got in your pocket cash, right? Only use what you know you can afford to pay, right? It comes back to being responsible, right? You didn't get a $10,000 credit card and won the lottery.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey, you got $1,000. If you didn't have this credit card, what would you spend, right? What could you afford to spend? And just transfer the payments to that credit card and then make sure, okay, now I'm going to pay this credit card off at the end of the month, right? Don't treat it like, you know, it's your money.
Yeah, and it's free too.
It's not free.
Like some people, you know, they spend a credit card like there's no such thing called a statement.
Yeah.
You know?
They when the bill hits them, they act shocked.
Yeah, hell yeah. Like, what the hell?
I went on vacation.
Like, yeah. Oh, I did do that. I didn't know this was going to come all at one time.
Again,
but
man, it's a crawl, walk, run process. Everyone wants that instant gratification. But right, the long road is what's going to get
And when you
ahead.
say crawl, walk, run, like if somebody say they got in today, when can they start to see something from Credit 101?
Within
Like
the
they see
first
a turn.
45 days,
Wow.
we'll start to see some of the stuff fall off your credit. And this is going to give us.
And you're removing things off
Yes,
the
we're
credit?
removing negative items, late payments, collections, charge-offs, bankruptcies. I mean, you name it, we're attacking it from day one. Then 45 days, you get your first update. We'll let you know the stuff that's been removed.
So
And
you
we'll have-
stay with us.
Yeah, absolutely. My
Mhm.
team, man, you get your own login, your portal on the back end. You have access 24/7 to my team. Any
Okay.
questions that you have, again, we're very clear, very transparent, right? And we'll go ahead and let you know exactly what you need to do to ensure that we're as successful as we can possibly be. In the first 45 days, we'll have a firm understanding of exactly what information, a lot of these debt collectors have on you, and we know how to attack it moving
Right,
forward.
right. So you'll strategically continue to work with the person, and this is
Yes.
what we do next. This is what I suggest you do.
Yeah,
So
we'll
it's not
update it
like
every step of the
somebody
way.
just send you and then they're on their own and never hear back.
No, man.
No, and me actually, like I said, is I had one thing on my credit report, and for me to go through it, it was a simple process. I
Mhm.
mean, they give you a portal that I could log in. I don't even have to talk to Kyle or his team at all. I was able to see what they were doing, so I'd be like, "Oh man, they're on it."
Right.
Like I could see that when something was sent out. I could see who it was sent out to. I could talk to somebody, send a message. So it was super easy.
And with you too, though, Rob, it's like whatever was on your credit.
Yeah.
Knowing you, it wasn't like you were running from. I knew
No.
you could pay it.
Yeah.
So we have things that were like, man, I would have paid that.
That,
you
and
know?
you want me to tell you what it was? It was like $156 to some pest control company.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I didn't know. I spend that at lunch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
you said it, so let's all go eat
Real
after
quick,
this. Bro.
what
I
sets
gotta
my
go.
mind, I want to get you real quick. Hold on. It's back to that paying it. Don't think if you pay a collection on your credit file, it disappears.
Wow.
That is not the truth,
wow.
right? It will still show that it went to collections. It just shows settled. So it's still
And that's
negatively
just
impacting your
that's
credit,
negative.
right? You think, oh, I got a $156 bill. It's on my credit.
I
I
paid
pay
it.
this off. It comes off the credit report. That's not true. That's not true, right? It's just going to show a settled account, a settled collection account.
And it's still a ding.
Still hurting you. So it's better off to call someone like my team and let us go to bat for you and remove it from your file, right? Save yourself that headache. That's
Makes,
a very good point. I'm glad you guys brought that up because that's huge.
makes a lot
I'll
of
just
sense.
pay 156
That's why I'm on
bucks.
here.
Right.
Easy.
Yeah, that's small. I
Easy.
got that.
Yeah.
Nah,
And it's still on there.
it's still on there.
Damn.
And now you're sitting here, and this is the craziest thing. Once you pay it, they don't want to talk to you anymore.
Right.
So now you're calling, going, "Hey man, how do I get this removed?" Oh man, it's
yeah.
been paid.
Like,
Dumb.
like, call Kyle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, thank y'all for coming in, man. I appreciate it. And tell us the web one more again.
Again, man, that's credit101.com/bigboy. You can find me on Instagram, international_Kyle. Again, man, if you're calling in, mention Big Boy. It was great talking to you guys. I
Man,
hope this
pleasure,
helped,
bro.
man, and we look
Pleasure.
forward to helping all you.
We got a relationship. All righty. Thank you guys for coming into the neighborhood.